Hello, good evening. My name is Paulo, and today I uh, I um, I make a video to explain how I put, with the help of a friend of mine, the components in breadboard. The first component is a diode, one November 4148, with the black finish to the right. So that leg go to attach to the first leg of this transistor here. So in the second leg of this transistor, and the part curve of the transistor is up, okay? The second leg, I have to put a wire to put in the second leg of that transistor. That transistor is opposite of the other, and the part curve of the transistor is to up at this moment, okay? If we could see in this image, the part curve is down, okay? So we connect the second leg to the second leg of this transistor. So in the first leg, we have to put in the same line of the third leg of that transistor here. In the third leg, in that line, we have to put a wire that attached to negative, okay? The breadboard here is negative and the breadboard here is positive. So in that sequence, we go to put another components. I could see that component here, a resistor of 1 key, okay? A resistor of 1 key. And that resistor have to coincide with the leg of that LED here. That leg have to coincide, they have to put the same line of that resistor of 1 key. The other leg of the LED, you have to put in the same line of the third leg of the transistor, okay, here. So we have the LED here in the same line of the third leg of the transistor, that transistor here, okay? So we could place a resistor and a LED. We have another resistor with 4.7 key here, okay, that attached to the same line of the second leg of this transistor, the same line of the second leg of this transistor here, okay? I don't know if you see or not. I have to put this resistor, yes, 4.7, in the same line of the second transistor, the same line of the second leg of that transistor here, okay? The same line, okay? So the resistor, I have to attach the same line of that capacitor of 10 UF. This is the one capacitor of 10 UF. Only 10 UF capacitor of 50 volts you have to place in the ear. So in that position, attached to the end of that resistor, and the same line you have to put another diode, and that diode, the black finish, you have to put to your left, okay? I don't know if you could see or not. This sometimes don't have focus well. So when you put the same line in that the resistor 4.7, you have to put in the same line that diode, and the same line that leg of the capacitor, and that leg is the negative leg of the capacitor in the line of negative. Okay, so that line, remember again, that line negative and that line positive. Okay, so we place that diode here. In the same line you have to place another capacitor. That capacitor here, in that line you place that diode. You have to put the negative leg of the capacitor. You have to turn your capacitor to the right or left, and see you have one view of the capacitor with the sign at the signal negative. Okay, so in the same line you have to put the other leg of the resistor, of the diode, sorry. In the same line you have to put another diode. Okay, and that diode here, you have to put the black finish to your right. Okay, that to your left, that to your right, and that to your right, the black position. It's essential to place in this position to works perfectly. In the another leg of the capacitor of 1 UF, you have to place in the same line of that resistor of 4.7 key. In that line you have to put the resistor, and that resistor have to attach the positive line there, here. So in the same line you have to put another transistor. Okay, in the first leg you could see the curve of the transistor. Okay, it's down at this moment. Okay, if I turn the breadboard, you could see the transistor, the curve is to left. Okay, so in the first leg you have to attach another resistor too, in the same line. In the same line you have to attach the capacitor, the resistor, and the first leg of the transistor. And the same line you have to put another resistor, but with 330 keys. Okay, this is the highest resistor you have to place in that local. You have to put one leg of that resistor in the first leg of the transistor and the second leg. Okay, the first to the second, and in the second leg you have to place another resistor of 4.7 in the second leg too. Okay, and in the third leg, and line in third leg, you have to place one wire that attached to the negative position. And when you put that wire, you go to the negative energy to that transistor. Again, we have that resistor that we have to put in the line of that capacitor. That capacitor is the positive capacitor in that line. Okay, the same line of the resistor. In that line we have to put the legs, the negative legs of that capacitors, that 1 UF. Okay, so that legs is negative. the negative capacitors, the negative legs of the capacitors, and the positive legs of the capacitors, the other leg, you have here the other leg to put in the same line of that resistor of 1 key, I think so, yes, 1 key. So in that line you have to place the same legs of the capacitor and the resistor 1 key, and in that line you have to put that that resistor. You put here or here, but not in another line that the same line of that. That's impossible. Okay. So to explain where you connect the wires, you have to connect the audio lead of the 4-wire mic cable of Cobra 146 GTL. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2 is audio lead. The audio lead you have to attach here, and the transmit control you have to attach here in that diode. Okay, so